I am 77 years old now. That number feels heavy when I say it out loud. And the truth I've learned is not a proud one. Perfection ruined my life slowly. Not in a loud way. Not with one big mistake. Just quietly, over many years, while I thought I was doing the right thing. When I was young, people called me careful. They said I paid attention. Teachers liked that about me. My parents trusted me with responsibilities early. If something needed to be done properly, they gave it to me. I learned very fast that being exact brought approval. I grew up in a simple home, nothing special. My father worked hard and expected things to be done right. My mother liked order. A clean house, neat drawers, straight lines. I don't blame them. They were doing their best. But I absorbed the idea that mistakes were something to avoid. In school, I was not the smartest student, but I tried the hardest. I rewrote homework if the writing looked messy. I erased answers until the paper tore a little. When I got good grades, I felt calm for a moment. When I didn't, I felt restless, like something inside me was unsettled. That feeling followed me into adulthood. In my 20s, I had energy and ideas. I wanted to write short stories. I wanted to open a small repair shop with a friend. I even thought about moving to another city, but every idea came with conditions. I told myself I would start when I was more prepared, when I knew more, when I felt confident enough. I bought notebooks, good ones, thick paper. I filled them with plans, steps, corrections. I would read and reread what I wrote, change words, improve details. Then I would close the notebook and tell myself, not yet. I didn't see it as fear. I saw it as discipline. I got a steady job. It wasn't exciting, but it was safe. I worked hard. I stayed late. I fixed other people's mistakes without complaining. My managers liked me. They said I was dependable. But when opportunities came, I hesitated. I didn't apply for better positions unless I felt fully ready. Most of the time, I didn't. I watched others step forward. Some of them were less skilled than me. At least that's what I told myself. They made mistakes, they learned, they moved ahead. I stayed where I was. At home, I carried the same habits. If the day wasn't organized, I couldn't relax. If something small went wrong, it stayed in my head all evening. I postponed simple pleasures because something else wasn't finished yet. Rest always came later. Enjoyment always came later. People invited me out. Dinners, short trips, casual gatherings. Sometimes I went. Many times I said no. I didn't feel ready, too tired, didn't feel presentable enough, didn't feel like my best version. I always thought there would be another chance. I got married in my 30s. My partner was warm and spontaneous, very different from me. At first, that felt comforting. Later, it became a quiet tension. They would say I thought too much, that I made small things heavy. I didn't argue. I believed I was being responsible, that I was protecting our future by being careful. Even happiness had rules in my mind. I couldn't enjoy a moment if something else was unfinished. A chore, a work problem, a small disagreement. My mind kept score. Nothing was allowed to feel complete. Years went by like this. No disasters, no dramatic failures, just a life that stayed controlled and narrow. I remember one evening clearly. I was sitting alone in the living room. The house was clean. Everything was in its place. There was nothing urgent to do. When still, I felt empty. That was before I understood what was happening to me. I thought I was just tired. I thought this was normal adult life. I didn't know yet that I was slowly postponing my own living. That realization came later. I didn't change after that evening. Not right away. Understanding comes slowly at my age. It doesn't arrive with noise. It settles in quietly, like dust. Life kept moving. Work turned into routine. Routine turned into years. I woke up early, did what was expected, came home. Tried to rest, but never really did. My partner aged with me, but not the same way. They laughed easily, made friends without thinking much about it, accepted invitations without checking the calendar twice. I admired that about them. I also judged it quietly. I told myself they were careless, that someone had to think ahead. What I didn't see was how often they waited for me, how many times they slowed down so I could catch up, how many plans they softened because I wasn't ready. I remember a small argument we had one night, not shouting, just tired voices. They wanted to take a weekend trip, nothing expensive, just 2 days away. I said we should wait. The timing wasn't right. Work was busy. The house needed attention. There would be a better time. They looked at me for a long moment and said, "You always say that." I brushed it off, but the words stayed. As the years passed, my world got smaller, not because I wanted it that way, because perfection demands control, and control doesn't like surprises, or mess, or risk. I stopped starting things, not consciously. I just needed everything to be right first. The right mood, the right energy, the right moment. The moment never came. My notebook stayed mostly empty. My ideas stayed in my head. My days became predictable, safe, quiet. Then my partner got sick. Nothing dramatic at first, just slower movement, more rest, doctor visits, medication schedules. I took care of them well. That part I did right. I was organized, careful, attentive, but I was also distant in a way I didn't understand until later. Even then, I waited for the perfect time to say certain things, the right words, the right moment. They passed before I found it. After the funeral, the house felt different, not empty in a loud way, just still, too still. I cleaned more than usual, reorganized drawers that didn't need it, straightened things that were already straight. One afternoon, I found an old envelope in a cabinet. Inside were a few notes they had written over the years. Nothing poetic, just reminders, plans, little thoughts. One of them said, "We don't need everything to be perfect to be happy." I sat at the kitchen table for a long time after reading that. The room was quiet. The clock kept ticking, and something finally loosened inside me. That was the moment. Not a breakdown, not tears, just clarity. I saw my life laid out plainly. How often I had waited, how often I had held back, how many experiences had passed by because I wanted to do them the right way instead of doing them at all. I thought perfection was protecting me. What it was really doing was keeping me still. I didn't lose everything. That's important to say. I had a home. I had work. I had respect from others. But I lost something quieter and harder to name. I lost momentum. I lost curiosity. I lost the ease of being present. I missed conversations because I was thinking about what I should say next. I missed joy because I was waiting for conditions to improve. I missed chances because I was preparing instead of acting. When you live like that long enough, you don't notice the loss day by day. You notice it when you look back and realize how little actually happened. Now, I'm 77. My body moves slower. My days are simpler. There's less ahead than behind. And I finally understand that perfection was never the goal. It was an excuse, a very convincing one. I used it to avoid feeling foolish, to avoid failing, to avoid being seen trying. What I didn't realize is that trying is where life lives. I think about all the ordinary moments I postponed. Meals I rushed through. Evenings I spent fixing small things instead of sitting with someone. Trips I delayed. Words I saved for later. Later is a dangerous word. There is no anger in me now, just acceptance. Regret, yes, but a quiet kind. If you're listening to this and you're younger than me, this is where I'll speak directly to you. You don't need to be ready. You don't need to feel confident. You don't need to get it right the first time. Start while things are still messy. Speak even if your words aren't perfect. Go even if the timing isn't ideal. Life doesn't wait for polish. It responds to movement. You can plan forever and still miss it. Or you can begin imperfectly and adjust along the way. I wish I had understood that sooner, but I understand it now, and that has to be enough. I live slower these days. I leave dishes in the sink sometimes. I say what I feel, even if it comes out awkward. I rest without earning it. The world didn't fall apart. Perfection didn't make me safe. Letting go gave me peace. This is the truth I learned late. I hope you don't learn it the same way.